Broadcasting alive from the Green Room Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, it's the At Home Show with Josh Carey and David Bates, celebrating 25 years of home and garden wisdom. Without further ado, your hosts, Josh Carey and David Bates.
Oh yeah, welcome in everybody. Obviously, you see David Bates is not to my right. He's on the IR this morning, but he's going to be fine. He is... had a little surgery on an ocular device yesterday,
yes.
so it's just not
one of
happy.
two that he has.
Yes.
I think most people have two.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Most of us. But hey, we're going to still do the At Home Show from the Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. The rest of the crew's in here, and Adam's sitting in for David, so we're ready to rock and roll. Good morning, Tyler. How are you today?
Good, Josh. Wow, you went straight to me. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. And then over across the studio, the two bright, shiny faces that are in their places, and they're having fun today.
Always having fun.
Always with Caroline and Austin over there. Got beautiful flowers in front of them and some other things that are going on. Studio looks great as always. I am back from vacation, and yes, it was glorious, and it was sunny, and it was warm, and I think it's going to be that way today, too, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, actually, looking at the weather, they're saying mostly cloudy today, which is fine. I don't let that get me down.
Okay.
74 for the high today. It's going to be very pleasant. Now, the rest of the week looks gorgeous. All sunshine and 60 degrees or lower 70s. We're actually having a spring this year.
Yes. Maybe.
It's not going from winter to summer.
Well, we could
almost
go into the
immediately.
low 70s. I would be happier if we could do that. Can you put that order in?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do.
Ironically, people are like, what is wrong with the weather?
Yeah.
This is the way spring is supposed to be. It's supposed to ease into summer, not just dive right into it,
Well, it's been doing about that at least half my life.
Yes. So anyway,
Crash.
great weather this week. And you know what that means? Great planting weather.
Yes.
And they're saying rain on Friday. So if we keep getting, a nice half inch or inch once a week, that's
great.
That's great. Keeps the ground moist, keeps your plants wet.
Green and juicy.
Yeah.
Can we put our meters out yet?
It's time.
You know what? I've put mine out.
Okay.
So, and they went through 2 frosts already, and they look fine. I didn't cover them at all. So now I would imagine if they had gone through a freeze, it might be a different story. But mine are doing good. I've got one in a big pot that's already doubled in size, which kind of amazes me because as cool as it's been, but it's been warm enough, I guess, that they're kind of starting to grow. Now my lettuce is going gangbusters.
My radishes are amazing.
Yeah, all the
this year.
cool season stuff is loving this spring. Loving it.
Mine's going wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
How wild?
So wild. I took a picture. I should have sent it in,
Wow.
but I didn't.
You're
so.
growing that red lettuce, ain't you?
I'm growing red lettuce, red mustard greens, kale, radishes, beets, snap peas. All the cool stuff.
How big are the snap peas right now?
I started them from seed about a month ago, and they're about this big. So they're not huge. But
Still, though.
they look healthy.
I think it's the snow peas that probably would have be bigger by now, right? Those are the real ones that.
They like the colder?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever grown snow peas before. Who knows?
All the snap peas like it chilly, too. I mean, they just kind of do. It's been a perfect spring for them, and this week is looking even more perfect for them. I'm thinking about getting my garden set out this week.
Do it.
I think it's time.
I know it's going to be May 1st on Monday, man.
I know, it's crazy. I was just talking, like, this weather is weird. It's almost May, and it's chilly
Tennessee.
at night still, and cool during the day. It's going to be great.
Only 7 months till Christmas.
Stop it.
Whoa,
I'm going to
Josh.
come
Shocked.
over there and slap you.
It's
You
spring.
hush.
We've been
Goodness.
waiting all year for spring. This is what we live for
Okay.
as plant folk.
And
It's
it's
spring,
cool.
and you're
Hey,
already talking about Christmas.
and the beautiful roses that are out there. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually walked the lot this morning before we started the show. You got the beautiful weeks out there out front. Man, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, the week's roses came in, what we call bud and bloom, and they were nothing short of that. So plenty of blooms, plenty of buds. I bought a rose, actually, called Chihuly,
Chihuly.
and buddy, it is pretty. I put it in a pot. I'm growing roses in pots now. I'm tired of them in the ground.
They just don't do well.
So
on the
many
ground.
issues
Yeah.
when you put them in the ground. I'm trying for a pot this year. I put gravel under them as like kind of the top layer, and I'm hoping I can keep that black spot fungus away. Although
Good
You can do
luck.
it. I
Good
believe
luck.
in you. I think
it's
you
not
can.
me though. I have nothing to do with this. This is
Yes, you
nature.
do. It's
No, I don't.
attracted to you. You bring it in. You kill our roses in Tennessee with it. Just kidding. But while we're talking about plants, let's go
Okay.
ahead and talk about what's in the green room today.
Yes,
So
please.
in David's newsletter, which I know everyone watching the show did read, which came out on Thursday, he talked about our greenhouse staff here at the nursery and how fantastic they're doing. They are bringing in so many racks of plants every day and getting them out there. I mean, they're slammed in the back. So I featured all of their current favorite plants that we have for sale back in the greenhouse. So
right.
all across the green room this morning. Melissa, Joy, Bridget, Jane, Celeste, Michelle, all of their favorite plants. I didn't get Debbie's. So sorry, Debbie.
Uh-oh.
You weren't here.
Well,
so-
maybe one of them is one of these that's in here right now.
Maybe.
So,
Probably. I feel like there is a lot. Well, I know there
There's
was a lot of
overlap.
crossover. So
overlap.
Yeah.
Who picked the dahlia?
Who do you think? Take a guess.
Melissa?
Dahlia was Melissa.
Dahlia
Yeah.
was Melissa.
I'm going to say
Wow.
that Joy was the Amsonia down here.
No, that was Bridget.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bridget loves the MC.
And this is the ones with the purple flowers. Is
It's
the
Yeah.
Amazon?
Storm Cloud.
Yeah, I love that. I need to
That's
get
not
some of that.
necessarily her
Starstruck.
favorite. Her favorite is the
Starstruck.
Arkansas blue, but it wasn't in full bloom. So
Well, you brought that in though, didn't
I
you?
did.
It's got that wispy foliage.
You know what? Give me 1 second.
That's
All right, your second's up.
Hey, you hush. Don't rush me. It's early. So this is actually Bridget's favorite Amsonia right
okay.
here.
It's blooming.
It is blue. Well, it is a little wispy. It was the only one blooming, and then I was
Okay.
like, where do I put a single one?
I love that one.
I planted it this year.
The fall color is money.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's
so
amazing.
good. Yeah.
Bridget didn't have to think at all about what her favorite plant was. She went right to it. So
We need more mass plantings of those around Nashville.
For real.
It's a good
Yes, we
pollinator.
do.
Is for pollinators, is it not?
Yeah.
Good for pollinators.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who liked the coleus?
that was Michelle.
Okay.
Michelle
Ah,
liked the coleus.
Michelle.
Michelle.
God, we love Michelle, y'all. Come talk to Michelle. She's so funny.
fantastic.
She
Yeah.
is.
And this pretty little baby right in front of me, what is this?
The crane's bill, that's Celeste,
Okay.
right there. And then Joy's was the Gina phlox, which is
Okay.
in that corner. It's not blooming,
Okay.
but the leaves look really cute in front of Adam, just kind of perfectly
Yes.
framing that
It's-
face of his.
It's just, I was going to say, it's just me.
And,
Yeah, it's you.
I make
You're the
the
flowers on
plants look-
top of that phlox.
and
Yes.
according to the label here, it is going to be covered with flowers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's gorgeous.
It
Beautiful
is
purple.
Upright.
Joey's right about that one too, because that one's very disease resistant. And I mean, if you've ever grown,
Yeah, don't
tall
they usually
garden
get
phlox, powdery
yeah,
mildew.
powdery mildew. Yeah,
Ugh.
that's the
the phlox gets powdery mildew
Yeah.
bad. But
Gee-
that one is really clean and it's beautiful, so that's a good pick as well.
Gina is
Butterfly
a
magnet,
true
it's calling
true
for it.
Middle Tennessee native right there.
Oh,
Nice.
Gina, look at you go. And then Jane's pineapple sage, which is right here in front of me in Austin.
Jane's
So, yeah.
all about them herbs and them veggies.
She is.
We love Jane.
Love Jane.
What about the
Love
tree
them
in the
all.
corner?
That was Joy. In a way, I said, Joy, we need something tall, and then we both looked at that. And
Bougainvillea.
we
The
said,
boogies?
Put it in
Yes.
there. Yes.
A
The
tree form
bougainvillea?
bougainvillea,
Oh yeah, they're boogies.
Wow.
Watch out, they got thorns now.
They do.
Look out,
Typically a
Josh.
vine. They train that one to be
Yes.
tree form. So
Well, folks, you can get all this stuff out here at Bates Nursery, and you need to go into Caroline's area because when I was walking a lot, I had to go to the facilities that are in that area there, and you have some beautiful tree ferns in there.
Oh, we
my
have
a
lot
gosh,
right
they're
now.
gorgeous.
Best selection right now.
And
We do.
ginormous jade plants.
Oh, we did just
Just
get
came
a
in.
huge jade plant shipment from a grower in Murfreesboro the other day. Actually,
Steve.
yesterday. From Steve. Shout out to Steve, the Jade Man.
Steve Hawks, the Jade Man. He grows great jade. It's my inside source on the jade.
But we have some
He's the
very
hookup, is he?
large.
He's
I
the
mean,
hookup.
trunks like this big, y'all. It's wild. It's
They're
crazy.
at least 2.5 feet tall. I mean, at least.
There are
Some of
some
them are,
very
yeah.
tall ones.
Do you think he's a pretty jaded fellow?
No, he's not. He's a very sweet man.
Where's that?
love
where's,
him.
Ooh, you're offended for him.
Where's that?
Austin.
That drum tap at the end of the nice joke there.
Oh,
There you
that's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, that's my favorite sound effect. All right, so moving on, let's
Okay.
go ahead and talk about the freeze. We still have so many questions about the freeze, so just summarizing it, a lot of the questions today, people are asking how far do they cut back? So they have a lot of growth and they're wondering, do they leave the dead growth up? Do they cut like an inch past it? We had specific questions about gardenia, if it's not leafing out yet from the freeze. Is it dead? And loropetalum. So just let's wrap it up real quick, y'all.
Tell them, Adam.
If it's a gardenia,
dead?
if it's a gardenia, go ahead and start playing taps.
It's a gardenia.
Dig you a hole for the whole plant and bury it and have a funeral. And because if it says hardy gardenia on there, it's lying to you.
It
It's,
is.
it's not hardy.
They're just
None of them are
Not
hardy.
here.
No. I will say loropetalum, I've seen some signs of life on some loropetalum.
Yes.
Mine came back
Did it?
from the very base.
Yes,
that's what will happen.
That's what will happen, yeah. So, but some may not at all, okay?
I think
Sorry
it
to
depends
say
on how mature they are. If they've been there a few years and they've got a good root system, then yes, they will probably come back from the roots. But if you just planted them, probably not.
Yeah, that's the whole key.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about like where to cut things back, I think a lot of people are talking mainly probably laurel and mainly Nandina on this one. Laurel, it kind of depends on how patient you can be. Most laurels are already coming back from the ground. A lot of people are talking
Oh,
Josh,
demerit.
The Nandinas are
mute
coming.
him
Demerit.
now.
I had something going there.
You were talking about cutting laurels back.
Yes. Okay. So most of them are coming back from like low on the stems. Okay. So how patient can you be? Because some of those stems may still have life working up even further. So if you want to leave those sticks, there may be some more buds that crack further up the stems. If you don't want to do that and you just want to clear cut those sticks because they look ugly and just plan for the new growth, that's certainly fine as well. So that's kind of based on you. Go with what you think. I would leave the sticks up at least for a few more weeks just to see if more stuff. That'll give you a bigger plant.
Yeah, because we really haven't had any real warm weather, like
No.
close to hot. Once we get up into the 80s for a week or so, you'll really know where they're going to be leafing out from and where they're not.
Exactly.
My camellia is actually pushing out from the ground.
Yeah.
I got so excited when I saw that on Monday. I text Tyler a picture immediately. And my osmanthus, which I was pretty sure was dead, is coming back from the ground as well. Although
Nice.
I'd already dug it up, so I went ahead and just transplanted it.
My camellias are coming back from the sticks, just real quick.
Well, aren't you so fancy
I'm
and lucky?
so excited.
Okay, one more quick one about the trimming. Arborvitae. I had a message from one of the viewers this week, and he was asking him. He has 4 arborvitae. We didn't say specifically which one. 3 of them are not showing any signs of greening up. So
They're probably history.
Okay.
Although that is not, in my opinion, just because of the cold. It's probably because of the drought from last year.
Okay.
They were already stressed going into that cold spell. So, and the thing with conifers, they're just a different animal when it comes to how their physiology and everything. So you can't really do like with a holly or like Austin was saying with a laurel. You can cut those things back. You can just butcher them and they'll come back. You can't really do that with a conifer. They just won't come back from it. So
Okay.
probably we'll need to replace them.
Snatch 'em.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sad.
All righty.
So there were a couple questions about replacements for all of these shrubs that maybe died or people just don't want to give it time. Lots of questions about an evergreen flowering shrub that would be a good replacement for privet and laurel. Are the 2 specifically that were asked
Well,
about.
the native ones, like I've said before, Lacothway is one. If you've got some shade, you've got the American hollies. Any Ilex opaca is tended to weather all that stuff a lot better.
Yeah, they did fine.
Yeah, they did.
American holly, give it some space. They get big. but-
Yeah. Now
but
there's a
they're
couple
great.
of dwarf varieties. One in particular, I think we have some right now. I think
We
don't
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got some new ones in.
Yeah.
A little low
So
line. What's it called? Maryland? Maryland?
Delaware.
Maryland. I think it's Maryland something. I don't
Delaware,
remember what it is,
Delaware.
but things like that. And I think we've even talked about Florida anise being another option. Now, I'm a little skeptical about that. I think you are too, Austin.
I
But,
am.
but
Elysium.
yeah, but that can also be
Hey, I just planted it,
I know.
and I'm
Yeah.
thrilled.
it can be a
We'll
good
see.
substitution for laurel. So
But But flowering, evergreen and flowering is a little bit tricky, y'all. There's just not a ton of things that are evergreen that do flower profusely.
Well, that live here.
That live here, exactly. I mean, if you do have some shade, rhododendron also comes to mind, and azaleas as well.
Yep.
Azaleas took a little bit of a hit this year. Some of them did. Not all of them, which is kind of random, but a lot of them took a shot. But anyway, when it comes to, evergreen flowering plants, like two of the best are azaleas and rhododendron, but you're going to need a little shade for them rhodies. And
you got to work on the soil too.
You got to work on the soil. Azaleas, yeah, they're a little bit picky. Don't expect them to just like set them and forget them. Let them just take off. Like they're fairly slow to take off. So give them some time. Be patient with them.
And then they'll just die.
Yes.
That's what mine did. What about viburnum? Don't they kind of hold their leaves a little bit?
A couple of varieties do,
Yeah.
but they're not native that I know of. The Prague viburnum and then leatherleaf, but I think those are either Europe or Asian varieties. But they're definitely a good substitute for skip laurel or any of those big evergreens that took a big hit. So
they do.
Again, not evergreen, but witch hazel. Is
sure.
a gorgeous plant.
Great fall color.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Fothergilla too is another one.
I love both of those.
Yep.
Okay, let's get to some questions,
Okay.
shall we? Are y'all excited?
I'm a-
I know I am.
Uh-huh.
Is there a deterrent to the chipmunks digging bulbs in my pots?
22 caliber rifle.
Barn cat.
A
Or a cat.
bobcat.
Barn
Yes,
cat.
you could
Oh,
go with
barn
that.
cat.
Barn
Yes.
cat.
Cat.
Get
yeah.
you a bobcat, y'all.
The mammals are so hard. They're so hard. Bugs are one thing, but mammals are a different beast. I mean, what are you going to do?
And they're real
Especially
cute.
getting in the pots. Like, I don't know what to do about that, to be quite honest. They're so hard to deal with.
I like cayenne pepper, but it doesn't work for everything.
Yeah,
but
so obviously there
liberal
are
amounts of
there's
cayenne.
there's liquid fence, there's all kinds of deterrents. I think that one of the biggest things also is any kind of smell, overt smell, like you can plant rosemary, you can plant catmint, you can plant things that are very very overt in their scent. And their olfactory senses are so strong in a lot of those animals that it actually is painful for them to smell it. So that's why and that's the whole reason why you put liquid fence down, because it's an odor that they.
It's basically predator urine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you can
exactly.
find that widely available. I think TSE stocks a
Oh
couple.
yeah, we've
or
got
three
it
of them.
too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So there it is. Couple options. Austin's doesn't really know.
Feed them
but
something else. Let's just put some sunflower seeds out for
Sure,
them and
you can
see
do
what
that.
happens, And
Give them a snack bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a little chipmunk snack bar.
I guess if it's in pots, we can use our expanded shale product
Yeah,
to mix
that
it with
probably
your
couldn't
soil.
hurt.
And that's a sharp, little rocks
Yeah.
that hurt their feet. Maybe that'll help.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I know.
Little tender toenails. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, little baby feet.
Okay.
Let's move on. I have a large perennial garden that has a combination of plants. I have cleaned out all of the weeds. The ground is dirt only now. What do you suggest that I use to cover my ground? If you answer mulch, what type?
Well, so if we say mulch, it doesn't really matter. The plants don't care what kind of mulch it is.
No,
That's all up to you.
It is.
Now, what you could do is put down a layer of maybe supernatural compost,
First, yes.
in maybe a ½ inch or something, to give it some nice nutrients and just kind of continually improve the soil there, and then put an inch or inch and a half of whatever kind of mulch you want to use.
We have red, we have brown, we have
Yep.
black, we have shredded pine.
That's my favorite.
Shredded bark.
Mine
Shredded
is the
pine's
one
good.
that-
Yeah.
That's a good mulch.
It's the best.
Or rock. You could go with rock. We don't sell rock here, but you can use like pea gravel. Like my bed is pea gravel. It was there when I bought the home, so I used it. And
Is
I
there-
like it okay.
Is there a barrier underneath it?
There
Awesome.
was. I
Yeah.
pretty much ripped that up because I replanted a lot of
Okay.
stuff, so that was just getting in my way. And y'all, the rock, you would think that weeds wouldn't grow all that well in rock. Well, you're
Oh,
wrong.
yes.
It grows just as well, and it's really annoying to weed it. Trust me, my fingers kill me after I have to weed that bed, and my knees, I have to use a knee pad.
Oh, wow.
Like an old person.
Yes.
Like a
old
old
It
guy.
hurts. It hurts
Old
to get on your hands
man.
and knees and weed on rocks. But I tell you, one thing that's good about rock, you never have to replace it.
That's very true.
That's
Mulch,
true.
you have to replace every 1 or 2 years or whatever. Nope, not the rock.
Speaking of your bed and you crawling around in it, how are your boxwoods?
I'm just not even gonna answer right now.
Are they straight?
No. They're not planted in a straight line at all. That's another annoying thing to look at. But the most annoying thing to look at is dead sticks on a boxwood when they're supposed to be beautiful green right now. Like this year, like this time this year, they would be flushed and beautiful.
Oh yeah, light green color.
Oh, just money.
Just close your eyes and think about it.
Shut up, Adam.
Ooh.
It's so annoying.
Touching the tendy right there.
My wife asked me the other day how long I was going to keep them, and I was like, I'm literally going to keep them until next spring, I think. Like, if they don't leaf out, I'm keeping them till next spring.
It'd be easy
Like,
to
I'm
hang
not giving
Christmas
up.
lights on. You're going to know
very
where to
true.
put. Yeah, you know.
And you know what? They'll look great on Halloween too.
I know.
Some
Oh,
dead
they'll be
plants.
so spooky.
That's why I'm
Put
leaving
little
them.
ghosts behind them.
That's why I'm leaving them.
for Halloween.
You know what?
the
I can't
best
wait till
holiday.
they flush, and I give y'all a picture, and y'all are going to be so jealous.
You're gonna spray paint them and then glue tiny leaves on
Yes.
it. I know
Yes.
it. Let's talk about Japanese maple, everybody.
All right.
Oh, please.
Should I clip the branches on my Japanese maple that do not have leaves? They
At this
said
point,
thank you.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
definitely. All maples, it just seems like it's a normal, very normal thing for Japanese maples at the tips specifically to have some dieback. Not death at all by any means. The rest of your plant probably looks great, but the tips don't have any leaves. And this happens every year.
Now I will say there are varieties that do better. Like the ice dragons that I have at my house, it didn't have any dead at all.
Really?
None. And it's in the ground. It got hit with all the force of that cold. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's good to go.
You're
But-
right. There's some varieties that do it way worse, like Sango, which is one of
Yes.
our best sellers.
Yes.
Right.
The coral bark Japanese maple. That one suffers dieback, it seems like, every year from the tips. And it may just be a foot, it may be 2 foot, depends on how big your plant is. But it seems to just suffer some dieback. It just does. So, yeah, clipping those off to clean it up is a good practice. I did that just recently with my Ryusen Japanese maple, which is a pretty tight weeping Japanese maple in my front bed. It's beautiful. Really, really
Yeah, it's
pretty.
really cool. I
And
like that one.
but it
They're
it
having a great
suffered some
spring,
dieback.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they're-
are. Mine are. Yeah, the leaves have swelled to their full size. They're really, really pretty. But it did have a number of dead sticks at the tips that I had to clean up, and I just did that the other day, and it looks really good right now.
Mr.
Cleaned up
Wu, the
mine.
Tamukiyama is going to have major surgery in about a week. I mean, major surgery.
You need to video that.
It
We all need
might
to
be
see
too
it.
painful.
We need to see it.
You need to have an assistant handing you the tools, and you need to ask for them. Scalpel, and then
No, it's going to take like 2
Yeah,
inch.
but that's what they hand you. They
Okay.
hand you the
Oh,
loppers.
Hey, speaking of major surgery, I just had to give major surgery to one of my trees as well. A Miss Grace weeping dawn redwood. Me and my wife did a little video with my kids on this. It was hilarious. But I had to cut it like literally in half for some weird reason. So this is a weeping dawn redwood, and it was probably about 7 feet tall, and like 3 or 4 feet from the middle, like up, just decided to wake up and then crash. I mean, all the needles just browned up on me. They went like crispy. And it looked weird. There was like some black in the stem. Like there was something going on. Okay.
Do they get borers?
There is no borers. I looked. Trust me.
Okay.
I looked up and down that stem. I didn't see any borers on it. No activity of that. It looked maybe like just some sort of fungal or bacterial pathogen.
Maybe
that's-
it was bored.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. It was bored.
You know
But-
what's not boring though?
What?
Earth mix.
Earth Mix Garden Products. They're
I
not
knew where you were
boring.
going with that, Josh. And you know what? Maybe if Austin had put some, I don't know, supernatural compost around it,
Right around the base.
this winter,
I don't think that was going to help.
may not have died halfway back. But if you were looking for some great soil products, Earth Mix is the way to go.
Absolutely.
For any garden need. Now, there's all kinds of products. So the garden soil or garden is what I've used in my raised beds for my vegetables, and that's what everybody is planting right now. So that is perfect for that. Even if you're going to be planting in the ground, you can use it to amend the soil where whatever patch of ground you're going to be planting. You can use Supernatural for that, the compost that we make in-house. And then, if you just want to kind of make your own mix, you can get some Magic, you can get some P-Fines, you can get some whatever you want to do. Sustain, yep. Get you some coconut fiber.
Oh yeah.
So
And it's already expanded. It doesn't
it's
come in
already
a block
expanded.
from Amazon.
All that,
I mean, gosh, it might-
that's already been done for you.
Yeah.
So And if you're wondering, where you can get it, well, obviously you can get it here at Bates if you're close by. But if you are wondering, you can go to the website earthmix.net and click on, where is it?
Find Earth Mix.
There
Yes,
she
yeah.
is. And it'll give you a map. It'll show you all the vendors that we have for Earth Mix. If it will, sorry, it's
It just
There we go.
recently expanded into Alabama
yes,
as well.
yes.
Well,
So
check
northern
out Rudy's
Alabama,
Nursery.
all over Tennessee,
And
Kentucky,
killing.
Can't go wrong with it. So
I'm going to try that sustain on top of the pots too, because we've got a little bit of critters or problems
Sure.
around there too. So I mean, if you like you say, got chipmunks, that's worth a try. And it's good stuff. It's beautiful on top of the
Oh,
pots
yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
there as you go. All righty.
All right.
Get it in bulk here too.
yes,
Bring your trailer.
yes,
Bring your truck.
Yes, if you need a lot, that is the way to go cost wise. So
All right.
Lovely.
All right.
Earth Mix. Yay.
It's the stuff.
Okay. All right. We have an out of town question.
Uh-oh.
I have a tree to plant. However, I am leaving for a week. If I plant the tree before leaving, what is the best method to ensure its success?
Soak it deeply. Now, this goes with any new planting.
Yes.
Your first watering is by far the most crucial, by far. Okay? If you do that properly, then you're usually okay, at least until, for a little while, until you have to water it again. Depending on how big the tree is, too. Bigger trees need more water. So if you're going to leave for a week, make sure you really deeply soak your tree before you leave. And then you might ask a neighbor or somebody if they want to be helpful to go out there and water it every once in a while you're gone. That's all I got for you.
I
mean,
don't think people talk to their neighbors anymore, do they?
some of them do.
I talk to mine.
Okay,
Our
well,
dogs
that's
play
good.
together sometimes.
Now, if you don't talk to your neighbors, they do make a product called a Gator Bag that you can get that will slowly water the plant over a number of days.
They're so attractive too, Austin.
Yeah,
well,
big green
I
bag.
hate the look of them, obviously, but if you're going out of town and you want to make sure
Get a
it gets-
UT orange one. Put it right there on the bottom. Of the
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome with a T on it. Yeah, there you go.
What color are
Wow,
you going
class
with, Austin?
right there.
Huh?
All the Gator bags are green. I guess that's good. 'cause
You could spray paint it orange.
they're, ugh. I hate the look of a Gator bag around the bottom of a tree. It just looks so unnatural.
You're
But
so
like
mad at
Adam said, though, if
They
you're leaving
work.
for a week, it will work.
But talk to your neighbors. It's a good thing to go out there and knock
Yes,
on their
it
door,
is.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying that it seems like a lot of times nowadays people don't talk to them.
Tyler has something to say.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline.
You're welcome.
if you have the luxury of being able to leave at your leisure, then I suppose you could check the forecast and hopefully let Mother Nature supplement some of the watering. But
Absolutely. Like next week?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, next Friday we got
if
rain.
you literally
but,
are leaving next week, you'll be okay, I think.
yeah, it's been fairly cool
With a good soaking.
So, really the biggest fear if you're going to be long, it's either longer than a week or if it's in the summer when it's really hot.
That's yeah.
You know.
That's a much bigger issue right now. Weather's pretty fair. I mean, it's good tree planting time right now. This
Yes.
week especially.
Tree planting time.
It's time.
Okay, let's talk about lavender now. We're moving on. Is now a good time to prune lavender, or is it too late?
To prune it? Is that what you said prune?
Yeah.
They said prune.
I would like to see it. I mean, if it's too big and you need to prune it, then certainly it's a fine time to do it. I know that in years past, I've grown lavender. It looked so bad up top that I just gave it a clear cut of everything and just let it regrow from the roots. If you want to do that, if you see a little damage from the winter on lavender, which happens a fair amount, it doesn't necessarily just look perfect over the winter. Then yeah, giving it a clear cut and watching it regrow is the way to go. But if it looks good and you like it, you don't necessarily have to prune it. So I don't know. Send over a picture maybe. Let me look at it.
Well, I think the only danger right now would be you won't have any blooms this year, right? If you prune it right now.
You know, it would probably still bloom. It would
But it'd
probably
be
just
later?
be later.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my guess on that.
Okay.
So
Ours got smoked. I mean, just
Yeah,
absolutely,
most
yeah.
I
most
feel
did.
like most of it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
even the hardiest one, which is what, Phenomenal? Is that the hardiest one?
Uh-huh, probably. Even that one suffered some
Yeah.
issues this year. So, yeah, but yeah, giving it a clear cut and just a restart a lot of times is almost good practice to do almost every year with
Yeah.
lavender. It comes out so clean after you cut it. You know,
I love cleaning up my perennials.
it's so nice. It's so nice to
Is
get them
it
just
is
to
it
restart.
is it cathartic for you there?
Well, it's just, you think about clean slates
Yeah.
and spring being the time of renewal, and you know that if those limbs are dead and they're going to grow up together, unless you like the dead and living look, sometimes it might be not as tight or it would be sparse in between that, but you're literally making room for life to kind of fill back in again. It's just, I don't know. I look forward to that ritual.
I like it too in the dead of the summertime, like after a lot of perennials have like flowered out and they're starting to get a little sparse and yuck looking. You just go in there and clear cutting them and then letting them regrow. Things like yarrow comes to mind.
Yeah,
Yarrow,
it gets leggy
It
and
gets
floppy.
leggy, yucky, not great.
Spent blooms.
All that. So just giving that a clear cut to the dirt, it'll regrow in the summertime, literally. Like you can cut it 2 or 3 times a year and it's coming right back. And it's a restart. It's a refresh. I like it.
Austin, I think that's something that I need to pick up more on.
I'm telling you, don't be scared to prune so
Well,
much.
I think on a philosophical level, it's something that people need to think about. You have your house, and you have every room in your house, and so you clean your house. Well, you need to think about your garden the same way. It's just another room of your house. It just needs to be cleaned up every now and then. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to view it that way, but I do.
I'm just saying,
I do.
it's
like
where you
that
live.
Philosophy
It's your
of-
place.
yes.
I live in my garden.
It can be a little nerve wracking, I think, for people. Things look tired. If things look tired, like perennials, especially perennial beds, if they start to look tired and a little bit yuck, people are thinking that their plants are like dying or something. Not necessarily the case. They're just a little bit tired. It's kind of like us when summer draws on and it's 90 every day, and we've already been working in the spring, like hard
Just cut
to get
us
our
off.
stuff. Just
Exactly.
Cut us right off.
you can't cut us off.
Let us regrow.
Roll us down a hill.
I wish we
then
could
we'll
do that.
come back up that hill even stronger.
But you can do this with your perennials, giving them a straight cut back and a restart. It works. It really works well. Don't be scared to cut them tired plants. They're going to reshoot.
Okay. You know what? We've been talking about a lot of flowers, and there's a lot of stuff around town that's doing cool stuff. And Austin loves to talk about those
Like
things.
privet.
Oh, God.
In bloom with Austin. All right.
All right. Here we go.
I did the best with it.
You
What's
did
blooming?
perfect. I'm proud of you.
Got a great picture yesterday from my wife who was at the zoo and saw a red buckeye in full bloom, and it was beautiful. I've got a red buckeye in the yard, and mine is just finishing blooming. But God, y'all, that is a beautiful plant. Everybody needs one in their yard. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful plant. Blooming right now. What else showed up this week? The Coosa dogwoods. So our native dogwoods have already finished. Coosa is taking its place, and they look really nice, just starting to white up around town. A small growing shrubby tree, if you will. They're looking good. I just noticed my few first rose blooms going on out there. So the knockout roses that everybody has, those are starting to go.
Yep.
We talked earlier about rhododendron. Just starting. They've been kind of late to the game, it seems like, this year. Oh, by the way, I need to talk to y'all about something after this.
Okay.
And moving on to some perennial type stuff. Let's go. Hey, Tyler told me strawberries are blooming. Strawberries about to be fruiting.
Ours
So-
have already bloomed. They've already got fruit on them.
All right.
Beatty Farms opened up
Sweet.
this week. You pick them. So.
Blackberries as well. I've got a big old field of native blackberries just all in it, and
Yep.
they are full show right now, looking great. Caroline mentioned calycanthus, which, what's the common name of calycanthus? What are we-
Sweet shrub, right?
Sweet, yeah, sweet shrub.
Oh, yeah.
Calycanthus. They're blooming red. They look great. That's a large growing shrub and quick to get big. Good plant.
If anyone wants to get me a birthday present, which is coming up soon, there is one called Sensational, and I will take it. All right, back to your segment, Austin.
Bush honeysuckle, those are those big wild things on the sides of the road you're seeing everywhere.
Yep.
Non-native invasive, kind of yuck, but they're pretty right now.
Would you say honey
Everywhere.
yuckle?
Yes.
Austin.
Honey yuckle. Yep. They're not good. They take over our woods. They're pretty bad. And then some true perennials. Let's go. Bridget's favorite that we talked about earlier, Amsonia, full bloom right now, looking great. Baptisia's still going. Mine is money. I've got some yellow ones, and they are just so
I think
pretty.
it's because of the moderate weather.
Yeah,
These things are blooming for so long because it hasn't gotten hot.
Exactly. The days, it's just like, why do florists keep their flowers in a very, very cold environment? Well, because those flowers stay perfect whenever they're in the cold. And the Baptisia's in the pea family, and they like it chilly, like we talked about earlier with Caroline sweet peas. Like, they just like it a little bit chilly, and they're just full show and have been for a long time. So Baptisia, an awesome plant to grow. We've got a lot of them right now. Catmint is also showing color. We all like that.
Mine just started blooming. My
Yep,
catmint.
they look great. Salvia and dianthus,
Yep.
all full bloom. So there you go. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're seeing. There's
Great.
probably a lot more, but that's what I've got.
Very,
Wonderful.
very good.
Great
Got
list.
another question from the Facebook page. Edward and has some dwarf magnolias in the backyard. They had a lot of freeze damage, of course, but they're putting out new leaves. He wants to know, should they fertilize and with what?
Polytone.
There you go. Good evergreen fertilizer. Never hurts to fertilize in the spring, y'all. That's when things are actively growing. So if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Now's the time. And I'm sure that magnolia will benefit from that after having to deal with that winter we had. But it's good they're
do it,
leafing
do it.
out.
And it's almost hard to put too much of that on.
Yeah,
Keep
the
going.
the espelma stuff, because it's organic, the way it works, unless you just cover the plant in it,
Right.
the soil actually has to be kind of warming up and activating because that stuff has to be broken down by the microbes in the soil. So it's naturally a slow release, and it releases. The warmer the soil gets, the more it releases into the soil. So
Nice.
Lovely. So informative, y'all. Proud of everyone in this room. All right, Miriam.
Miriam.
We got a question from Miriam. Good morning,
Hi.
Miriam, who I
Morning.
believe is going to be on the show next
good
week.
morning.
We're gonna try and get her on
I
ahead
hope
of
that
the
wasn't a surprise.
ahead of the H-Win
It's a
tour.
surprise to me. I didn't know.
Well, surprise, Austin. Miriam
Glad to see Miriam.
should
Can't
be on the
wait.
show next week.
What's she got? this
Miriam
week?
asks, what's a good smallish pollinator for viburnum blue muffin?
Oh, it's just another arrowwood type,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that an arrowwood type?
Yeah.
Oh, what variety?
Well, just the native species.
yeah.
would be a good one.
Would be fine. But small.
Isn't that a dentatum? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the
viburnum
species. Yeah.
dentatum.
But smallish is going to be tricky. I don't know if there's any that stay just very small. I mean, most viburnum gets fairly large.
Yeah. I don't know of a dwarf one. Maybe there is one.
There
but
might be one now. There's so many new
You know why they
things.
call it arrowwood, right?
They used it for bows and
Arrows.
arrows.
Yeah. Well, they made
Not bows,
arrow
arrows.
shafts out of it. Yeah.
Nice.
Tiny bows.
You know, it's all one thing. So
Is that where Bodoc got its name?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that is a really hard wood. It would make a good stave for a bow. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
you go,
great
Miriam.
question, Miriam. Best slender evergreen tree for small space. It's a fence corner, about 4 feet of space.
Taylor juniper.
Yeah. If you've got room to go up, that's by far my favorite skinny conifer. Now, they will get up to about 25, 30 feet tall. So make sure you have room up top, but they stay thin. It's a
What
really
about
good plant.
green tower boxwood?
Yeah, that would work for a smaller, definitely a good one for just that mid-size, that 8 to 10 maybe eventually. They're boxwoods are fairly slow to get there, but if you want skinny but you don't want all that tall, boxwood, way to go. Y'all know how I feel about boxwood. I mean, it's kind of the goat.
Yeah, we
do.
we witnessed your sorrow earlier.
So, yeah.
It'll be fine. They're going to grow back. You're going to be gorgeous.
And if you got a shady spot, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a tree, but the upright Japanese plum yew
Oh, yeah.
is great
Yep, that would work in
for
the
a
shade.
small,
Yeah.
tight space.
Great choice. Such a good green.
Chef kiss green.
A thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Why are the Kwanzaa cherries not blooming right now? What's going on, Adam? I need to talk to you about
Well,
this horticulturally.
actually, I saw ours blooming earlier. The ones that we had in 15-gallon or 25.
Yeah, I saw. I've noticed our tree lot have some of them in pots and containers that were blooming, but
Yeah.
then around town, I'm not seeing any Kwanzaa cherries blooming. I don't know why. Shannon, one of our employees here, showed me a picture that he got from his wife, which was I guess 5 days ago. On his photos, that come up on your phone that say like this day a year ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And his Kwanzaa was full show. I mean, literally full bloom, full show. And this year, not a bloom on it. And he's like asking me, why is this not blooming? And I'm like looking around town, and I'm not seeing them
Yeah.
blooming either.
Yeah, my guess would be it's weather related.
Oh, it's got with cherries, it's chill hours for the main part. They got to have enough cold
Yeah.
temperatures over the winter. And yeah, we had a severe freeze event at one point for like 3 days. But honestly, over our whole winter hasn't been all that cold.
Well, I'm actually specifically talking about how moderate it's been this spring, and maybe the soil has something to do with the soil temperature. Maybe I don't know.
I know.
Something I
to
can
get y'all's
think of.
opinion. If y'all are listening and you have Kwanzaa cherries that are blooming, let me know because I haven't seen one out in the world
I haven't either.
that's blooming right now.
On that same kind of note, what's up with the June bugs coming in April?
Have
What's
you seen
up
them
with
already?
that? Oh gosh, they're
I
covering.
haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any
The
either.
big green one? You're talking about the big green ones?
No,
Josh?
no. They're just brown June bugs.
The brown beetles. I
Yeah.
have seen those.
Yeah.
They kind of popped up for a minute, but then I haven't seen them. So.
Got a swimming pool, you'll find them in the skimmer.
Oh yeah, yes you will.
yeah.
Someone's got a new pool.
I do.
Oh,
Got a new pool at the house, y'all.
bless your heart.
Yeah,
The kids have already been in it.
I was gonna say enjoy that.
Yeah.
You won't have any enjoyment out of that. Let me tell you.
No.
Austin the pool
Well,
boy.
watching the kids in the pool the other night, just loving it was.
Yeah, that
it was a-
fades.
It was a
Quickly.
That fades quickly.
well, it was a good sight the other night. So we'll see.
Okay.
I got to get a deck put around it. Josh, you
Oh.
want to? Josh, donate me some lumber.
Donate.
Yeah.
No. You
That'd
need
be
the
great.
full experience.
I
of
totally
paying-
forgot to go through you on this. Yeah, come on, man, give me a deal.
Hey y'all, Tanya over there is asking, what's the flower sitting between you and Caroline?
To Dahlia,
Yep.
Austin
It is a
answered
dahlia.
it. Yep.
That's
orange
right.
one.
Melissa's favorite plant.
Does it say what variety on the pot?
Orange Crush.
Orange Crush.
Ooh, that's
Yes.
cool. I like that.
So speaking of this
How
plant
long
and
will
Melissa, she does great cut flowers. So if you ever want to follow her page, which I believe is Melmac
Melmac.
Florals.
Yeah.
She does flower arrangements weekly, which we also share on the Bates Nursery page. And from time to time, she does bring those in to sell, so you can pick up some of her arrangements.
Beautiful stuff. It's
She
worth
does
a follow.
great.
Yep.
Really
Yeah.
great job.
How long will that bloom last?
Shoot, it depends on weather, but
Okay. It's
the hotter it is, like we talked about earlier, the hotter it is, the less it stays out. But this early spring, that's going to stay out a while.
okay.
I'd say right now. I mean, at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Will you
you
get
think?
another flush?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's buds down below it already ready to crack.
Yeah.
And dahlias, like if you grow them here in the ground, in the dirt, like they're not blooming yet. They're not even thinking
Oh
about
no,
blooming
no.
yet.
It's usually
Yeah, these have been forced in a greenhouse.
Yeah, it's usually what early summer at the earliest.
at
usually.
the earliest, usually.
Yeah.
Because Mama wants some dahlias this year. So
Hey, we got a nice selection of them right now, actually. At about the stage they kind of want to be at. They're still early, but they're mainly just foliage. And they've got some buds in there that are going to crack soon, but they're at a good stage to get them in so they actually grow, and get big and bushy and then produce those blooms in the summer, which is what we want.
no, when next year will you be able to divide it's a tuber that they come from, right?
Yes.
Okay. Will you be able to divide those? And move
You
them
can.
around?
You just
Okay.
you got to be gentle. Okay?
Okay.
The dahlias they break pretty easily off
Okay.
that main stem, and they look like kind of long, skinny sweet potatoes,
Yep.
if you will.
And
yeah,
they are expensive.
dahlias
Oh
are very
my
expensive.
gosh.
So yeah, the more you can divide and conquer, it's better. Lift them in the fall, y'all. Get them out of the dirt after the first frost kind of comes in. That'll take the foliage. Get them lifted and into a paper bag and inside your shed or something. Somewhere where it's like fairly chilly but not cold. And store them for the next season and replant them because, like Josh said, they are expensive. Dahlias are high.
But they're gorgeous.
They're so worth it.
And how
so
many-
worth it.
And so many different varieties of height and blossom size. I mean, I started doing my research on them, and just couldn't believe the colors that are available.
It's
that's
it's a
insane.
pretty deep rabbit hole you can go
Yeah,
down
definitely.
with dahlias. Yep.
All right.
But if you needed dahlias,
You could come to Bates Nursery.
because you got them.
We got them. Obviously, we got them because they're sitting in front of Carolina
Yes.
over there.
Yes, they are.
So yeah, come on out. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, just a mile north of Briley Parkway. Going to be a nice day, I believe, to come out and get some trees, shrubs, some
Ground covers.
some veggies,
Oh,
Yes.
some maters,
Maters.
if you need your maters.
We've got a million.
Garden
Oh yeah, we
plot.
got a million of them. Peppers, lavender. We got lavender. Maybe if you want something that's flowering, maybe you want some petunias.
Oh.
Yes.
Maybe you want some tropical hibiscus.
Yeah,
got
maybe
some-
you
We
want
have
that. We got
Hollywood
that, too.
hibiscus in many colors.
Almost any kind of perennial you could ever want, we have.
We have,
Bougainvillea you have.
We got some boogies.
We got
You want
this
that?
this is gold brush in a tree form, and then we have purple queen, smaller and a little trellis, typical vine shape.
And you got to go see those tree ferns in Caroline's area. They are absolutely spectacular.
Yes, we have an excellent tropical indoor plant selection, thanks to Caroline up there in the
Come visit me.
greenhouse.
Do we
Thank
have
you.
Australian and Tasmanian tree ferns?
We
Is that-
do. We have both of those.
Don't
Sweet.
let them dry out.
I water
Nope.
them every day.
I was about to say, if you ain't ever gardened before, don't get that one. Good Lord, you miss them for a day or two and they're dead.
I mean, can you just put them in a saucer, like put
Pretty
a
much
saucer
have
at the
to.
bottom
it
of the
seems
pot?
like.
Yeah, I keep mine in a saucer of water, and that's how I keep them in our greenhouse as well, so they don't dry out.
So
They're so
So-
picky.
come on
right.
out.
It's worth the drive. For
It
that
is
reward.
worth the drive. Pretty much anywhere in Middle Tennessee. It's well, anywhere. I think it's worth a drive from California if you want to drive out here. From
Do
there.
it.
All right.
Can you
Go
take
ahead
the
and
stuff
leave.
back
You'll be
in
Some
there
people
before
take
when
the
you
old
leave?
one way
I
from
don't know.
California.
Okay.
They land here at Bates.
Okay, let's talk about red twig dogwood. Someone has an extra large pot, and they're wondering
that.
if it's okay. I think I actually left out one extra. Is it okay to put it in this very large pot for a couple seasons, or should they put it in the ground?
Well, seeing that red twig dogwoods are hardy to zone what 3
Probably.
or
yeah.
4.
They
So
like it
you don't
cold.
have to worry about the cold freezing them out, even in a pot. I wouldn't think.
No.
So the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
You could do that.
And certainly put it in a pot. But I mean, if you're going to put it,
If that pot is like 20 times bigger than the plant, is that going to be an issue?
It could
Because
be.
it sounds like the pot's as big as their house, the way they described it. So,
well, the biggest problem with too big of a pot with a smaller plant going in it is the overwatering scenario. You
Yes.
know, you have way too much soil that, and you keep it too wet and it stays kind of waterlogged because that plant's not, filling up that container for a while. The roots aren't. So,
Right.
Keep it on the dry side if you're going to do that. But I mean, if you're debating on putting it in the ground or in a pot, it's like, well, go ahead and just put it in the ground. Let Mother Nature kind of help you out a little bit. Because in a pot, everything comes from you. Whether you overwater it or underwater it, either way, it's coming from you. So, it's a little bit more work on you.
And if it's an extra large pot, you got to put the dirt in it, and it's going to be heavy.
and costly.
And it costs
Yes.
money, yeah. I mean, to fill that up. So,
You got free dirt in the ground, y'all.
Okay.
Okay. Austin.
What?
Austin.
Hey,
What?
this question is for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Is it too late to prune limelight hydrangeas? Let's talk about what you did to your mama's tree last year.
Uh-oh.
I've got a great theory on
Here we
this.
go.
It's not just a theory. I think it's proven, and it works way better. So you're going to prune your limelights over the wintertime, okay? We're going to get those pruned back. We want to cut them more or less severely is probably the word. They're growing machines, so we really got to take them back. Now, what I like to do and what I did with my mom's last year is I let it leaf out, and swell out to get pretty big. And then I went in the early spring. We talked about this last year. I went in the spring and tip pruned every single stem. Okay, what this does is it shortened the plant a little bit, but it makes it since in the spring they're growing so much that it re-leafed out from multiple different buds. And then from that, it sent its flower, its blooms on every single one of those stems. So what I got was like 3 times as many stems, and then each one of those bloomed off each one of those stems. Now, I will tell you, they bloomed about 2 weeks later than most limelight, and each individual bloom was smaller, but they were not floppy whatsoever. The biggest problem with limelight is their blooms are massive. After we get a rainstorm or whatever, they want to lay open on you, and there's nothing more annoying than that.
Now, Austin, do you know what that's called? Do you know why it does that? Do you know the technical term for the reason why it does that?
Dropping the trigger pressure?
It's called apical dominance.
That's correct.
Whoa.
And so when you the reason why things flush out and look fuller when you trim them is when you prune the tip of a branch, that branch is sending that very tip of that branch is sending hormones back to the buds below it to not break. And once you take that off, those hormones are no longer there, so those buds break open.
Exactly. And then they make this nice, full, tight
Yes.
plant. And my mom had the prettiest tree form hydrangea on earth last year. Like, it was the prettiest thing. Yeah, the blooms were smaller, but there was like 1 million of them. And they didn't flop whatsoever. They stayed tight within that green, and it was just a really, really beautiful plant. So to answer your question, that is the way I would recommend you do that, depending on the size of your plant. If it's a young one or whatever, you could let it grow for a few seasons before you do something like that. But I think that's the way to go, giving it a wintertime heavy prune and then a springtime after the foliage comes out and it's grown for at least a couple weeks, going in and giving it every single stem a tip prune just at the tips. And like Adam said, they will make those buds crack below, and it makes a tighter, better plant, I think.
Gorgeous.
That's my theory.
Do you think that tip pruning and strengthening of the stems would work on running backs from Tulane that don't have all their ligaments?
I don't think it works with humans, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
But it works for so
curious.
many things. Like, look at this coleus right here.
Yes.
Like, I would go ahead and give this to, like, right whenever I bought it. Like, yeah, at the top, it looks great or whatever. But that's just going to keep growing a single stem. Like Adam said, that's not going to let these buds below crack all that much. Or they will, but they'll be small.
Yeah, they'll
So
just
if
be
you-
leaves.
Yeah, so if you go ahead and pinch out the tip of that, then all of these lower buds crack. and they make like 6 or 8 new stems, which makes a much fuller plant. So tip pruning on annuals especially is a very common practice to do, and it should be done a lot more. Like whenever you want to harvest basil or something and use it to eat, don't go to those side leaves and pick off the side leaves of the plant. Take the very top of it. You take the tips out, pop them, and then new buds and leaves form down below, and they make this bushier plant. So there you go. That
was passion right there.
Yeah.
That's passion.
Speaking of passion, this question might be little on the sensitive side for Austin, but here we go. Let's do it.
He's
Boxwoods?
emotional today.
He is
isn't he?
emotional.
Okay.
You know what? Some days are just harder than others.
I know.
What small boxwoods do best in Tennessee in full
I knew
all-day
it.
sun?
Here we go.
That was
From
not
Kentucky that drank
Hey,
that mayonnaise in?
wait a minute. Since Austin is in such dire straits and can't answer the question because he's emotionally scarred,
Yes, take it, Adam.
I will say that the best smaller boxwood is green velvet.
It is. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So,
My green velvets look great.
Yeah.
Like picture perfect.
What were the other ones?
Justin Browers.
Justin Browers.
Justin has failed me.
Maybe they didn't.
Now
they're
they're
gonna-
now they're Justin Browner.
Yeah. Oh, Adam.
Browner.
Traded up and
You're
gave away
so
draft
proud
picks
of
to
that.
get
You
them
might make
too,
a man
didn't he?
cry on
Yes.
live
was good.
television.
Nah, there's no tears over here.
You can't
He's
crack this
fine.
man.
Okay. I want to acquire a green thumb. Best way to begin wanting a cook's herb garden. What do you do? I would say just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Get some
do it.
experience.
Got to start.
It
Herbs
takes
are pretty easy to
experience.
grow.
Yes.
They really are. They're kind of weedy. Or can be. So
They can be.
they're pretty easy to start with a number of basil plants or something,
Yep.
Like just grow you some basil.
Yeah, basil's easy. I would say
Dill is easy.
dill's
Yeah,
pretty
so
easy.
easy.
You can,
Majorum.
in some places, you can pick up a chef pack,
Yep.
like a culinary herb pack, where like the seeds are just a mix of
Yep.
basil and oregano and thyme and such, and scatter them out right now when it's warm.
Lots of
Have them
sun.
come up.
Lots of
Lots of sun. Keep the soil moist at first. Encourage germination.
Well,
if you're a
one-
reader, grab some books.
Yeah.
Get inspired.
Go to McKay. They have a lot of good gardening books.
Yep. Also, think about where this place will be if it's going to be outside in relation to your kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, you want it to be pretty close.
Don't send it all the way down the backyard just because
Yeah.
that's the only place you have to put it. Get if that's the case, then get one of those like rolling raised bed carts that they have. You can find those at Costco.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are great because you don't have to bend over so much, and then you can come down your stoop or whatever, and it's right there. Wheel it
Another-
around if you need it in a different spot.
Another one, sage, folks.
Easy.
It's a beautiful plant in the landscape too. Get as big as you want it to be.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
You could also grow mint if you want it forever.
In a container.
In a pot.
Yeah.
Don't
On
not
a
put
rock.
men in the ground.
Don't put it in the ground because you'll have
On
it
a
forever.
rock.
Yeah.
Near away from something else.
Here's a question. What is that black spotty stuff that appears on mint leaves sometimes?
I'm sure it's a fungus,
Yeah.
black spot probably. I mean,
It
Never
just
had that on my mint before.
yeah.
there's just
What
all
are you
different.
doing, Tyler?
It's on my spearmint. It mainly only grows on spearmint, not really on my apple mint, but it's like a spotty black looking. It's definitely in part sun, so it could be.
It's
That
yeah,
is-
yeah. It's because it's getting a little shade there and get some fungi on there.
Moisture.
Yeah. It's
We have a lot
odd.
of fungus
But
here.
don't put mint in the ground, folks.
No.
Don't do it. I did
don't.
it, and I'm always going to be battling it with my passion flower.
Yes.
Speaking of passion flower,
Uh-huh.
have we gotten any in? That is a question. I haven't seen any come in.
We
We had a
had-
tropical
that
red
tropical one,
blooming.
yeah. We haven't had that regular, our native wildflower. Or our state wildflower, right?
Yes.
Yes.
State wildflower. It's Passiflora incarnata. So if
Yes,
you're
it is.
looking for that, look for incarnata.
Maypop.
Maypop. It's a really cool bloom.
It's the coolest bloom like there is.
Yes.
There's not a cooler bloom, I don't think. It looks like alien-ish. If you've never seen it,
You know
Google
what?
it.
You know what kind of looks like
And
that.
if you sniff it too long, you fall asleep.
Thistles kind of look like that,
bit,
especially
yeah.
They do have a look.
especially when it's a artichoke. Flowers look really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool one. All right, let's give Austin a question that he's going to be happy about, shall we? We
Okay.
need to see a smile on that face. Clematis is mulch enough for shaded roots if it does get full sun past 12.
Yes. I mean, mine gets like, I'm so happy with my clematis right now, y'all. It is so
Told you you'd be happy
beautiful.
about that
I'm
one.
serious. It is so beautiful. I didn't even mention that bloom. And clematis is starting to bloom right now. Mine are I use Jackmanii, which I think is the best variety. It's a purple bloomer, and the buds are starting to show color. They haven't opened yet, but they're starting to show color. And yes, clematis can actually handle way more sun than you think it can. And mine gets literally throughout the biggest part of the day, from like 9:30 in the morning all the way till like close to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if not longer, on a brick wall. And they are big and beautiful and lush, looking great. So yeah, if you want to do it, one of my Adam's good buddy Shane Burton actually grew clematis at his house, and I was interested to see he had one planted up underneath a tree that got almost literally zero sun, like it was extremely shaded. Then he had another area that was literally full sun almost all day. Both of the plants during the springtime and like late spring, when I observed them, they were almost exactly the same size. So it's almost like clematis can live in full shade or full sun. It's like, just, you got room for clematis, put it anywhere. It's such a good little vine to use. We have a lot of it right now too.
Yes, we do. Okay.
Cool.
2 of my 3 apple trees are flowering, but one isn't. It's just a stick. Is it dead?
If there's no leaves on it. Yeah, if there's no leaves on it and it's just a stick, I'm sorry.
You might need to call it.
Yeah,
Yep.
jerk that one up. But be happy with the 2 that are flowering.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing.
You didn't lose them all.
Put it
Just
on a
one.
charcoal grill and have some nice smoke.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
great idea,
Yeah.
Josh.
you go.
Applewood.
Look
Sometimes
at
you
you
got to
go.
cut your losses.
Best low
Literally.
maintenance privacy tree for side yard between us and a neighbor.
Depends on-
They don't like their neighbors. We were talking with neighbors
Exactly,
earlier.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't wanna see
It depends on how much room you got, but Green Giant's probably the best screening evergreen if you got the room.
Yeah.
Emeralds, of course, are widely used for a reason. Taylor juniper, if you got enough sun and you want to use enough of them, it take a lot of them.
Yep.
But if you have a very narrow space, that's the one to use.
Yeah.
Privacy
If you
fence.
do have more room too, Nellie R. Stevens hollies or the American hollies,
Oh, sure,
certainly,
yeah.
certainly would work for that as well. Clean and green, nice plants.
Clean
There's options.
and green. Lovely.
If you want to go native, just on you could use Idlewild juniper or, Taylor's a native technically too, but Idlewild, I think it's a Virginiana too. So
Yeah. Yeah, all of the junipers, if you can use those, they're
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, people forget about what people call cedar trees around here.
Yes.
They're technically junipers, and we sell them, and they're a great option for our area. They're really tolerant of really poor soils, handle full sun all day, can live on a rock.
yeah,
literally.
and that freeze we had in December, they looked it right in the eyes and said, "What freeze?"
laugh
What
at
freeze,
you,
exactly. So, if you want hardy, go that route.
Pshaw.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and final question of the
Okay.
morning. Vitex tree with many branches that have what looks like frost damage.
Dead.
Will it recover?
Dead. Mine's dead.
Mine's cracking on one side. It looks real good on one side.
Mine is dead as a hammer.
Oh,
I got to
man.
pull it up.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of different Vitex this year be either some okay, some half good like Caroline's, or some totally dead like Adams. So that's across the board. We just kind of
Now,
have to wait for that.
if it is cracking, obviously prune out whatever's dead. In whatever's left over, then you got to decide what you're going to do with that. But
Yeah, but Vitex grows so fast,
does.
y'all. So
It
if it
does.
does come back from lower, just give it some time. It's going
Yeah.
to be right back to where it was.
yeah.
So there you go.
Very, very good.
There it is.
My Vitex straight species both have come back,
Good.
and they
So yours is what, the Agnes castus? Is that what yours is?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just literally.
That's what mine was, and it's
Vitex.
dead.
Really?
Yeah, it's dead.
This
Completely
mine
dead.
is like second year now.
Is this
third year?
Is it Vitex the common name that we call these, or what?
Chase
No,
tree.
Chase tree.
Common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Vitex
Yeah.
is the actual gene.
I've heard a lot of people who planted Shoal Creek had some trouble. So
No, it could be that mine. I don't know what variety mine is. Like, somebody gave it to me. I thought it was Agnes castus, just the species, but I don't know for sure.
well, I did a little pruning, a little dormant pruning, and shaped it up a little bit. And I was kind of skeptical, but then it budded up, and now it's leafed out. You know, there's a little bit of tip dieback, but it's just beyond the seed heads from the previous year. So
That's good then.
yeah, it's healthy looking.
You're
So
well on your way to a big one this year, probably.
that's what I'm hoping.
It'll
Good
happen.
plan.
It will. You'll get there.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Well,
There it is.
I think that about calls it, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Alrighty, folks. We appreciate you joining us this Saturday morning. We're going to come back next Saturday morning. Thanks for sitting in, Adam.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
By the way, David Bates will be back from the injured reserve list. We will not be trading him for future draft picks. I promise you that.
Pray
like
for
the
my
Tide-
Boxwoods people.
Yes, pray for his Boxwoods. Pray for the Titans because they're going to need it. They really are. All right, folks, from the Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. It's 0.9 miles north of Briley Parkway at exit 19. You got to come out here. You got to see all the stuff out here, everything that's going on. But we're going to come back next Saturday morning for another hour of the At Home Show. See you then.